Six Nations, the final week. The final game is England hosting Scotland at Twickenham. Whether or not this game has that much riding on it kind of depends on the preceding game between Wales and Ireland. If Ireland get the win, then England have got a chance to pip through and get that Six Nations Championship back to England. Scotland also have the chance to hand it to Ireland if they can go and inflict a defeat on England. But if Wales get a win, then pretty much that's that. They get the Grand Slam. So it is going to be an interesting one to watch, depending on what results, what the result. I suppose there's the France and Italy game as well first. But yeah, how things pan out is going to be pretty interesting. England in recent years have had pretty good form over Scotland. They've won 4 out of the last 5. It was just last year that Scotland managed to get a win up at Murrayfield. Average score over the last 5 games, England 27, Scotland 14, so it has been fairly comfortable for the English over the Scots. An interesting fact though, the last time Scotland managed to win down at Twickenham was March of 1983. To put that into context, I hadn't even been born, so it's been a long time between drinks. If Scotland could get this done, regardless of what happens in the preceding game, it would still be a history-making game for them. So I suppose there's that incentive for them to go play spoilers, or potentially just to make a bit of history on their own, to be the first Scottish team in a long time to win at Twickenham. But it's a pretty tough ask because England has been very sharp in most of their games this season. England have made a few changes. Jack Nowell's in on the right wing, so Thokanasiga is out of the squad, so perhaps there's a bit of experience going with Nowell. Henry Slade's in at 13, so Tuilagi's at 12, and Ben Teo is on the bench. Ben Moon starts at loose head. Mark Wilson starts on the blind side, so Shields is on the bench. Genge is on the bench. But for the most part, it's a fairly stable looking England team. Farrell still captains from 10. Youngers are still at 9. Jonny May still at 11. Elliot Daly still at 15. Sinckler, Launchbury, Kruis, Curry, Vunipola, all there. So yeah, it's a very strong looking England team, and they will be looking to put Scotland to the sword. Scotland have got a few changes of their own. Sean Maitland's had to move into 15 because there's no Kinghorn, there's no Hogg. Scotland have had so many injuries, it's been ridiculous. Sam Johnson's had to come back in and go to number 12. So Peter Horn is out of the squad entirely. McGuigan is on one wing. Darcy Graham, who was good last week, continues on the other. It's good to see that he's playing because he did go off last week. Dell, McInally and Nowell make up the front row, so that's a bit of stability. Toolis is coming into the second row. Gilchrist is there with him. The back row is a bit shifted as well, so Bradbury's gone to 8. Hamish Watson, who was really good when he came on last week's at 7. And Sam Skinner is at 6. So there's a fair few changes. Laidlaw is still on the bench behind Ali Price. So I guess we'll see if that pays off for Grigg or Townsend's men. It does look to be a tough ask because, as I said, England have just been so sharp this tournament, and it's only kind of been Wales's back 3 and especially Liam Williams who kind of managed to shut them down, and they weren't able to unlock that Welsh defence like they have most of the other teams, but they just have been very, very good. So the bookies have got England by 18 points, which for a Six Nations scoreline in a game not involving Italy is pretty one-sided. Now I know there are a lot of English punters, so that pushes their scorelines out a fair bit more, but that's still a bit of confidence, and kind of rightly so, because Scotland have kind of been their own worst enemies at times this Six Nations. Some of their handling errors have been poor. Some of their decision making at times has not been the best, or just skills execution. It's just not quite been there. It's been close, but not quite. For England, it's been kind of the opposite. For the most part, they have been absolutely clinical. So we'll see which Scotland side kind of turns up, and if England are able to kind of continue this recent tradition, long tradition since 1983 of getting wins at Twickenham. So yeah, it should be an interesting game. Much depends on the preceding one, but we'll see how that goes. And yeah, you guys let me know, how do you think this one's going to go? And